And we are live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Welcome to Rice TVX, the Rice Crypto Show, and today's Crypto Rewind. I am joined by my co-host, Satoshi Sean, and today our guest is Nick Saponaro from the Divi Project. Now, real quickly, before we begin, a few quick messages from the sponsors of Rice TVX, and you can find information down below in the video description. Live streaming on Rice TVX and Rice TVX2, so make sure you subscribe to Rice TVX. And BitSwap, Monarch, and Presearch information down below.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
We're going to have links down below for everything, all things Divi, and also we're going to have links for the articles that we talk about on today's news. Bow chicka wow wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this thumbnail, and we have Mr. Satoshi Sean and Nick Saponaro from Divi on screen. What's going on, gentlemen?
Yo, what's going on?
Appreciate you accepting our invite today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to catching up, with what you've been up to and what Divi's been up to. Sean, how you been this past week since last Friday?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Super duper great.
Super duper great.
How about you, man?
I've been doing well. Staying busy. Went and did a really cool in-person interview with that dude from Convention Estates I was telling you about.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was very cool.
Going to release that interview tomorrow. And also his speech. His speech I'm going to leave on Odyssey because he talks about some things that I got to worry about.
How many days are you clear? Or is there another couple days?
By next Friday or next Saturday, my first strike is supposed to expire and I'll be good. Nick, I got a second strike on my channel like 3 weeks ago and they took out like 12 of my videos.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They tell you why?
Yeah, they were saying I was cyberbullying and harassment was one for half of the videos, and the other half were inciting violence or riots, something to that effect. None of which are true. It's just BS censorship.
If they were, they wouldn't have just given you a strike, man.
Right? I'm sure somebody would have showed up in my house.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's definitely crazy. I want to have links down below for Satoshi Sean's channel, as well as the Divi Project YouTube channel. And the Divi Project, every Friday at the end of the month, they do a live at 5. Is that 5 p.m. your time or
Pacific?
Eastern?
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. The last Friday of every month on the Divi Project. So if you're not already subscribed to Satoshi Sean's channel and the Divi Project, be sure to check out both channels, show your support, show your love. So what's been up with Divi it's been a while since me and you had talked, but what are some of the highlights, I guess, just from this year where you guys are progressing, and what do we have to look forward to coming soon?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even remember the last time we talked online. I know I saw you at Bitcoin Miami briefly. Yeah. We just said what's up. A lot has been going on. Yeah, I mean, obviously we launched the mobile wallet. It has something like 12,000 downloads, I think now. We haven't really been doing paid media behind it or anything like that yet. So I'm excited that, a lot of the community and some other people, and it's just in the US right now. It's only launched in the US. It's coming to the EU and UK next. We're kind of going through the whole GDPR thing. Dude, I had no idea how. What was that?
It's fully launched in the US, but can you still
fully launched.
Get it in the EU?
Not really. I mean, if you have a US like App Store account, you could, but I don't recommend it because you can screw up your current App Store account or Apple ID, whatever. And same with the Play Store. You can trick the system, but I don't recommend it because you can get your other
I just
accounts.
thought that it was just fully 100% released in the US, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Okay,
it's 100% in the US. So staking vaults will be out this month. The testing's gone really well. It's going to go into security here in the next week or so. But everything.
Me and Sean are both in the test.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so the vaults, they're awesome. Subscriptions will be coming out. We're also doing some Spanish language support because Jeff's down in El Salvador, doing some stuff with everybody down there. A bunch of people are making moves down in
Costa
El
Rica,
Salvador.
right?
He is from, he lives in Costa Rica.
But he went down to El Salvador because of the Bitcoin thing.
That's right. Yeah, he was talking to some of the government there, trying to help advise them on certain things. He's been talking to some of the Bitcoin Beach people and some of the other business owners and entrepreneurs that have gone down there starting businesses. So, yeah, he's making moves down there. So that's why we're going to add the Spanish language support. We'll add other languages, obviously, as well. We also have had some institutional interest. So we've had a big-ish hedge fund come through, and they already have, I think, a diamond set up and a few platinums, and they're working on getting a few more diamonds from us. So you've seen like the diamond number has increased recently, and they're helping us with a whole set of services for their clients. Like their clients are mostly like high net worth individuals. So they're doing this managed service where, they set the nodes up. Obviously, they help them like turn their Roth IRA or their self-managed IRA into crypto. And they have a bunch of like OTC services and things like that. And they're going to help bring the OTC sales desk to our market very soon. So we're pretty excited about that. There's always so much going on, but those are probably the most exciting things like in the past couple of months. Very cool.
That's awesome, man. Any update? Because I haven't really been keeping up with like things, as I told you. Any update on what's going to happen with I want to make sure I'm using the right term, I guess, IBAN?
Yeah. So we have, we'll have like bank account sort of functionality, looks like toward the end of this year.
Okay.
And that'll mostly be focused, of course, on the US because that's where we're currently launched. We will be in the EU by that time too. But of course, the U.S. banking partner financial institutional partner that we're working with is primarily U.S. based. So you have all those features like fiat on ramp, money sending and things like that. Eventually a debit card and all that. And then we'll start rolling out the IBAN stuff, which kind of is taking it step by step. With all the privacy laws, man.
I'm sure it's hard.
It's crazy. I didn't realize, I just thought, how you throw up a terms of service? I mean, our terms of service is pretty robust as well. But I just thought it would be similar to how it is in the US, where you have a terms of service, privacy policy, and you're good to go. No, all the EU countries have their own little set of rules. The UK has their own set of rules, and it costs tens of thousands of dollars to do it right. I had no idea. I just had no idea that it actually takes this much to go to market in all these places.
Yeah, if you screw up at all in the EU, you're
toast.
Yeah,
yeah, because they do it. I mean, it is fairer than they are here. Facebook did the whole Cambridge Analytica terrible thing, and they were fined the biggest fine in history, but it was a month and a half of their income. It's not a big deal, to them.
Yeah.
But if they were to do that to a small business, it would crush them. So the EU, those fines are a portion of your income. So you don't want to screw up there because that's the fines are actually pretty fair.
Are those services?
Man, it was we're waiting, and then all of a sudden in 1 month you had 11 things go off. It's boom, 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 boom. Everything came to fruition. It seemed like it just all in one lump.
Yeah.
It was a crazy month. What was that one partnership you had with a guy that you couldn't get the internet connection with on a?
Oh yeah, Hummingbot.
Yeah,
Hummingbot's awesome. They've really helped.
Pretty big deal.
It is, yeah. Hummingbot's an automated market maker for decentralized exchanges. If you know how the decentralized exchanges work, where you have the AMM and you provide liquidity to the liquidity pool.
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing really like that for centralized exchanges. So that's what Hummingbot basically solves for. We have a partnership with them. They're on KuCoin. They're actually going to be doing AscendX next as well, which used to be called BitMax. So we'll probably do another campaign there. I think we're going to do another campaign on KuCoin too with Hummingbot because we had a lot of people participating. It's really cool. Like they provide quite a bit of liquidity for the books. They keep the spread pretty tight. Even, you know, we do have, of course, our own market makers, but this allows everybody to participate and actually earn additional Divi or USDT by providing that liquidity to the market. It's
Congrats on KuCoin, by the way. I was psyched to hear that.
I appreciate that.
When you guys were talking originally, since some of the aspects of Divi are in Costa Rica, is the services that we were mentioning a moment ago, are they available in Costa Rica? Because I know you were testing that out.
They are. So the IBANs and stuff like that are available through Ridivi, but it's only available in Costa Rica right now. So we got to bring that to the rest of the world. They have all the integrations set up now, which is great. But it's just a matter of like actually adding it to the wallet. The other partner that we're working with here in the US is a very large trust company, which we'll be able to announce when we go to production with that feature. But they do similar things, but specific to the US. They're going to be adding Canada, I think, next, and then they're going to look at the rest of the world. But yeah, it's all coming. It's all coming down the pipe.
Awesome. I did want to real quickly to say thanks to everybody who's joining us on the live stream and talking in a chat. Nice. Polly P, Tom, All in On, Private Intelligence, 420, Wild Dragon 420. Appreciate everybody for joining us. I guess we can go ahead and get into the first story. And the first one is this is one that Sean had suggested as a feel-good story. Sean, and Nick's probably met this guy too. I've met Didi a couple times at conferences, and I really commend him on doing what he did, because it was, when you think about what he did, it was really risky because he's, you know, putting his family's money at jeopardy in a sense, but
yeah,
it's paid off for him, and now he's like got different vaults around the world in different places, and he's spreading his money out, which is, you know, crazy to think about. But what were your thoughts on it, Sean?
I thought it was cool, man. You know, it's good that some positive news when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. Like you said, he saw the potential, and then he went all in. Just like, you know, if you're looking at starting a business or anything, you go all in. And now he's got so much money that he said, if I need to you know, pull my money out of the market or move it, I'm not that far of a plane trip away from each one of my hardware wallets. That's it just seems pretty cool, man.
No, it's smart as hell. It's in that way, you know, because as much as he travels, if he was to have any sort of issues with any sort of law enforcement or legal entities, I mean, he would be protected in those aspects. So it's smart, man. It reminds me of the cypherpunk mentality, the early Bitcoiners, and the way that they thought about things. So he has his own distributed network, basically.
I like that he keeps it all self-sovereign. You know, he's like all about having his own personal responsibility, you know, like aggressive ownership or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. I actually met a family in Texas when I was just down there, who's done something similar. Like they sold their house, pretty much sold all their assets. They still have a couple businesses around their home in Texas, but they like literally live in a mobile home and put all their money into crypto. And yeah, it's crazy how well they're doing, actually. Just living modest, you know?
Yeah. And that happened to a couple people that they went all in, and then there was a dip, and they I remember a story about another guy, and he was living out of his car. Like he lost it. But he still said, I'm not selling, I'm fine.
Yeah, you just gotta commit to it.
Yeah. I forgot one thing. I did say this on my show that Nick is a dick.
Nick Saponaro?
Yeah. I said it on my show, like I think 3 times. When I went over the news story that he was in Texas, he was down the road from me, and didn't
Oh,
tell
I didn't
me.
know that. No way,
You
dude.
did, man. No, you did not tell me, so I could come up.
I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
What were you doing in
I wouldn't have
Texas?
I was out there for an event, speaking, Bitcoin Ben.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. It was remarkable. It was in Bernie. It was like 30 minutes up from San Antonio.
Was this
And,
his recent business thing he did like the beginning of the month or something?
Yeah. It was.
He was talking to like the Chamber of Commerce. He was talking to like the town official. It was very boots on the ground, real crypto, like street crypto is what I called it on my show.
But as close as you were, you didn't go?
Shut the.
So it works the same way though, doesn't it?
Dude, I was seriously mad. I'm not joking.
I honestly didn't know, Sean. I really apologize.
Like, are you serious?
I 100% would have met up with you. I was trying to meet up with as many people as possible. It was crazy, man. There was 300 people in that room. All, I mean, I would say probably 70% of them had Divi masternodes. And meeting the Chamber of Commerce and seeing how like open, I think it's the 7th or 8th fastest growing town in America, Bernie. And they're really just trying to look ahead and forward at crypto and pretty much anything they can innovate to bring their town like into the future. It's really cool.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I had considered going out to that event, but I wasn't very. I haven't even been following Ben's content really a lot this year. It's been kind of in my own world, studying a lot of this law, legal fiction stuff, in addition to like all the other things I cover.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to come up for air and catch up with what everybody's doing because the space obviously just moves so fast.
Yeah,
I can barely keep up, dude. I mean, now everyone's penguins. A couple days ago, everyone was 8-bit zombies. Now everybody's penguins.
It was punks and those zombies and those penguins. It started. You know what I don't understand about this whole NFT craze is why Crypto Kitties isn't getting any love.
Yeah, well, they were really the OG thing.
I know you would think that early Crypto Kitties would be going more than these
granddad's NFTs, man. What are you talking about? That's 2 years ago, man.
2 years? It's Methuselah
my
level.
Dad likes to look at. What are you talking about,
dude? These punks, that is just ridiculous, man. Some of the prices. I mean, I understand the power of the NFTs, but that is ridiculous. There's nothing special about it just being a unique piece of 8-bit art.
I know. Do you think there's something more behind it? Like the reason that I've heard a lot of different like philosophies and people saying, oh, it's a new way to launder money or something like that. Is there real value backing up? I mean, a multi-million-dollar JPEG, it does seem like a decent, I just don't know I don't know what the scheme is there.
I mean, it's possible, but if you look at the people that are involved, it's not. It doesn't look that way.
It's definitely pretty manic. I've never seen anything like it in my life. But I mean, if you think about it, like I collect art, and I have to store it all in climate-controlled rooms, and frame it and do all this stuff. Like it's a lot easier just to have a set of NFTs of JPEGs on a screen. If there's going to be value behind it.
It is weird, man. Like, because I was never that into NFTs. When NFTs came about, I was so excited about, licenses and all the land titles. And I mean, this is before like pre-Crypto Kitties. Just like, oh my God, look what we could do with this technology. So I never really got into. I even called them entertainment NFTs. I always tell Bozak, I said I sound like an old man. I was like, these entertainment NFTs you kids keep playing with. But then when you start, man, it's like you get them endorphins from social media. Yeah. I start going crazy. You can go. Atari has a page where they sell every game cartridge box front and back for every game they've ever made, and I have like almost every one.
Now, what would be cool though?
They're cool.
No, I'm saying what would be cool is if they were able to have the game in that NFT with the front and back, and you can actually just use that NFT in something and play those old Atari games in some sort of
like one game. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I own them all.
I think we'll get to that point where the NFTs need to have additional utility. You see a lot of them like creating little game or little farms or whatever, like you were saying with land, like you can put them in a house or something. I feel like ultimately there has to be some utility to them for them to retain this level of popularity.
Yeah.
And I also think there's a lot of different applications outside of just like expensive JPEGs that for NFTs that we're not seeing yet. But this is a great start.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've talked NFTs, man, anything that's a certificate, anything that you register, license, deeds, all these kind of things can be used, replacing the ticket industry with blockchain and NFTs. I mean, there's a lot of really interesting possibilities. And I know that I've seen something about there is people putting out KISS NFTs. I haven't heard specifically about Gene Simmons pushing out. I mean, he's a insane businessman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so he just recently come out talking about how, I mean, he's been talking on Twitter, but he was really, really bullish on what he was saying on CNBC. And he was talking about at the beginning of 2020 when we started having lockdowns and stuff. He contacted Tyler Winklevoss, and Bitcoin was around a $10,000 price then, and he like allocated a few $1 million into it. Saw the gains, and then he said, when he saw it go back down under the $20,000 price, he pretty much, he didn't say he went all in, but he purchased a lot more. And he's a 71-year-old dude, but he is a sharp businessman, and
he's a savvy 71-year-old, that's for sure.
He's been a sharp investor, aside from crypto. So I mean, it's a little bit different than saying just your typical celebrity getting in on the hype, because Gene Simmons, it makes sense because of his business background that he would be looking at this asset class. You got thoughts on it, Nick?
I think it's awesome to see all these dudes getting in. We've seen like a lot of celebrities get in, but I thought his analysis, even though it was pretty high level, was a lot more like well thought than a lot of the other celebrities that are getting in. But I mean, we're seeing like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis getting into it in like a more concerted way. Tom Brady actually does have an NFT, I think, coming out on DraftKings like tomorrow, or maybe it was today.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see that level of validation. There's all sorts of validation all throughout the space nowadays. But obviously celebrities have a big influence on people, and it's positive. I mean, this is really positive. The way that they're talking about it, do your own research, but this is what I'm doing. It's strong. I'm really excited to see. And Gene Simmons, I mean, he's awesome, right? He's a badass.
Yeah, I know. I love KISS, man.
Yeah.
The only thing I would definitely say that I disagree with him about was his price prediction of Bitcoin being around like $60,000
going into 22, right? I think that's what he said. Yeah, I think it's going to be much higher, but
I agree. But he's new to the space, so I'll forgive the demon for that.
Yeah, it could correct back to 65, but I think going into 22 is higher.
If I was to look at my own prediction, that's my low side. That's my conservative, pull back a little bit, maybe before the Christmas pump around. I think that's pretty accurate. As far as someone that's doesn't like to look like he's wrong, that he would err more on the side of caution.
Sense. Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things is the generational thing. When you look at Ashton Kutcher, or you look at remember Katy Perry had the nails back in 2017. It's all still this really, really young group. And if you look at someone who's known for everything he's known for, but like Rice said, he's also known for being a really savvy businessman. And
I think he controls they're like the trademark of KISS, like the logo.
Yeah, they're like the Justin Sons of rock. They'll sell pretty much anything, and they've made tons and tons of money. But when you look when a lot of older folks see him doing it, I think it's a really big deal that you probably don't get unless you're an older person, because when it comes to explaining it to like friends of mine that are in their late 40s, early 50s, it's like banging your head against the wall. It really, really is. Yeah. But if you can say Gene Simmons is doing it, I know that some of those barriers will come down. I 100% know it.
There'd be some Kiss fans that would just buy it because Gene said he bought it.
It's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, it to me, it doesn't show sign yet, that we've kind of gotten, to the top of the bull run, but it's one of those indicators. And, but again, it's cool, man. I'm a rock metal head when it comes down to it. So I appreciate it.
Also, how cool is it that Gene Simmons is on Fast Money?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's been on there before, but yeah, totally.
It's just,
Now, this infrastructure bill, me and Sean were talking in the beginning of this week, and I think this completely terrified Sean. And I thought it could have gone wrong.
I lost a lot of money because of this thing.
I think it could. I figured when you told me, because you told me you sold some portions, you tethered up, is what you said.
Yeah, I sold like 70% of my portfolio.
And I
didn't tell my Jimmy because it's in a freaking node.
But see,
I mean,
it
I would have.
It didn't. Even though no amendments were added to it, it still has to go through Congress to pass. So I mean, it wasn't like it was completely like detrimental news.
But it's very it is very detrimental news. It's a terrible, terrible bill.
If someone decided,
exactly. But I this is bothering me because China can mention something, or something can be a rumor, and the market dies and everything freaks out and there's FUD. But this is some legitimate shit, and nothing happened. Everything went up.
The opposite happened.
So this pisses me
off. A lot
of
it might have to do with the way that these articles are being spun too, and we're starting to see.
Of course,
CoinDesk
the media
and
the media
paints
whatever picture.
They're owned by digital currency groups. So, I mean, it's almost like when you look at the mainstream media and how it's controlled by a small group of individuals.
But I'm thinking that the market is controlled more now. I think it's, and we all know there's
manipulation.
We all know
I think you got to look at the macroeconomics, man. It's more than just the bill, right? First of all, you have all this, the fact that the bill was even held up as a result of the crypto legislation that wanted to be amended, that we wanted to amend. I mean, it held it up for days. They were trying to vote. They were trying to push it through, and it almost passed. Or at least the vote on the amendment almost went through.
Yeah.
If not for the Alabama senator who,
yeah,
whatever.
Did you hear about? Did you hear his reasoning for that?
Yeah, he wanted more funding from
for defense budget.
For defense. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
and he's retiring anyway, so it was a throwaway vote.
So because he couldn't get it, he and it had to have 100% unanimous, and that was the one dude.
But remember, Sean, the macroeconomics of this thing, and let's just start from the general economics within the United States. You have a bill that's going to print $1.2 trillion, and then the next day they instantly put forth another bill for $3.5 trillion. That only diminishes the confidence in the dollar. That to me brings a great narrative around Bitcoin and around cryptocurrency. Meanwhile, you have consumer sentiment on the downtrend. You have huge overnight reverse repos happening, where banks are literally trying to get as much of their dollars out of their pockets as humanly possible. There's this huge anti-dollar movement right now happening, and that's good for Bitcoin.
Well,
and that's just here.
Our banks are stocking up on dollars. Banks outside the United States aren't, but we are, for whatever reason. Banks here are starting to stockpile cash. That's what I mean, like the line of credit thing with, who was it?
Wells. They closed their personal lines of credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but literally the Fed is performing reverse repos overnight constantly, which is where the banks can basically purchase equities or put their money into equities with their excess cash, because there's too much money that's not being actually utilized. There's all this money that came from all of those social service things like PPP and all those things over the pandemic, and the stock market is just tearing for no reason. So they're making buku bucks, and they have nothing to do with it.
You say it's tearing for no reason, but it's
I do know the reason.
It's the Federal Reserve inflating it.
They're pumping it in. Yeah.
Speaking of that, and speaking of what you mentioned, Jeff being down South America, I had this weird philosophical thought last night. The center of the world has changed many times. From Africa to Rome, Mediterranean, Europe, to now it's North America. North America is the leader. The dollar is the reason for it is the dollar. It used to be freedom and all that, but now it's we all know it's just money. But when the dollar collapses, with the forward thinking, and we talked about this on the World Blockchain Roundtable, how innovation when it comes to crypto and blockchain, and how Silicon Valley is really not leading the way that it should. Anyway, it looks to me that like South America, when everything collapses and is going to come from the ashes, I think, as maybe being the new center of the world, the new leader, with the way that they're moving, because it's not like El Salvador's standing alone. There's so many other countries that are looking at that and are looking at adopting it.
It's because they're oppressed by the dollar.
I want to know, what do you guys think? Do you think that's a possibility? We're looking at a shift in.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you have countries that are under the thumb of the United States because of their reliance on the dollar. Their local currencies have failed to make, enough impact.
El Salvador is a great
example. El Salvador is the perfect example, right?
Except for they're going to create a stable coin that's backed by the U.S. dollar, which I don't really quite understand.
It could, I think there's a lot of education that has to take place in El Salvador. I mean, you have people that are selling things on the sides of the road and stuff like that. Like, how do you teach them about the Lightning Network? You know what I mean? It takes time. You have to give them something that's familiar first, and then you can start to introduce the other things to them. And they also have to find a way to sell Bitcoin to these people. You can't just airdrop Bitcoin every 3 months or whatever. They have to at some point be able to acquire it if it's not being spent at their stores and stuff like that, which of course that'll take time as well. So I think we're going to see a long shift over to cryptocurrency first, and then hopefully Bitcoin.
Why can't you? If you can print money, why can't you print money and use that printed money to buy Bitcoin to airdrop? Why can't the stimulus checks be stimulus Bitcoin bought?
Well, we can print money, but El Salvador can't print U.S. dollars.
And does the government?
I know, but I'm thinking in that
does the U.S. government want to give you? Does the U.S. government want to pay you in Bitcoin, knowing that your Bitcoin will go up in value at some point, and you might start losing faith in the dollar? Unless they wanted you to lose faith in the dollar, but the dollar is the backbone of the government.
Lost in the dollar, though,
Well, yeah, but they're trying to maintain like it hasn't, man.
And everyone starts out with the stable coin backed by the dollar. That's what crypto did.
I mean, it would just make more sense
started
to have
looking at other alternatives.
Else backing it. It would just make more sense, even if it was
backed
by Bitcoin.
Exactly. It doesn't necessarily look at Tether, right? You have a currency that's backed by a pool of assets. It's not even dollars, but they've proven time and again that there are assets backing it. I mean, they're probably more well allocated than the Fed at this point. So yeah, I mean, but you do need a stable currency, especially if you're selling bananas on the side of the road. You can't incur any volatility, or your entire livelihood is just out the window. And of course, it does go up, but it also goes down just as hard. So of course, there has to be something stable.
Did you have a chance to go out to El Salvador, or are you just hearing this from your buddy, the CEO of Divi, Mr. Jeff McCabe?
Yeah, I've been getting most of my information from him.
I trust I trust what he's saying. I didn't know if you had visited yourself.
I'll be going down there. I was going to go down there actually this month, but some plans changed, so I'll probably end up going in September next month.
Cool. I'd love to hear about your experiences there. And a lot of people are going out to El Salvador, so hopefully some positive things will occur. I have heard some negative feedback from saying that there's been some resistance amongst the citizens, but I don't really know the specifics because I'm not there and I don't really know.
It's hard to say.
Also, it seems to me more just like Mexico, the president of Mexico calling for Assange to be let free. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the U.S. quietly got everything it wanted from the English government this week. They appealed.
What do you mean?
They
The
appealed. The
British
other judge
government?
said no. It's you can't have me. Can't be extradited. The U.S. appealed everything they'd let them appeal, and another judge gave them everything. They threw out everything that the psychiatrist said. It's shady as hell. But I see a lot of, I mean, I know that Mexico is North American, but a lot of South American and North American countries shifting away from, the socialist and other mentality to more of a libertarian freedom mentality. I see them gravitating towards new technologies and towards crypto, and much quicker than everyone else. I thought Africa was going to be the one that would do it, or South America was my second choice that I thought was going to do it. But I really do see that in the near future that South America is going to be a much bigger part of the global.
Well, South America, Africa, as you mentioned, and then a lot of Asian countries are the ones who, in a sense, need this technology the most when it comes to being your own bank, because they don't have banks everywhere they go outside their door like we do here in the United States. So, I mean, it makes sense that you would see the adoption in those countries picking up more and more and more. And I think it's kind of a race, because I think there's a lot of positive things going on in Africa, as well. And I mean, it's many different projects. I mean, Cardano, Akon, his thing. I know Jack Dorsey's working on some stuff. They've been providing power and internet to people. So, I mean, it's very powerful, man. And I like seeing that kind of change taking place. If I know Sean's seen this, Nick, and I'll send you a link for it. But if you're an Iron Maiden fan, or the singer from Iron Maiden did a really cool TED Talk, and I had no clue how forward thinking this guy was with his investment strategies and investing in disruptive technology, like a zero carbon emission type of plane, an edible drone that can feed like 50 people, and it costs like $600 to make, something like that. Or maybe it feeds more than 50 people. Maybe it's like 500, but it's a drone that's made of plant-based material that people can eat. So
that's pretty cool.
It's pretty wild. So I'll send you a link to it, but it's really cool,
yeah,
man.
Please.
Some of the things that these people have done. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to add to this infrastructure thing, or you think we've covered everybody's opinions?
Well, I do want to add one thing that, although this has gone through the Senate and it's probably going to pass the House, there's still time, I think, to amend that particular portion of it. And there's a lot of senators on our side now. I think before we've had a lot of opposition. Of course, we still will, but there's some people that are pretty influential in the government now that are on our side for this reason. So I'm still optimistic.
And there's some bipartisan stuff which is happening. I mean, I know me and you aren't really necessarily huge fans of the government, but I can at least say that when there is bipartisan effort, you're going to see things getting done. Yeah. And seeing the parties working together, considering all the stuff that we've had dividing the parties over the course of the past year and a half, is pretty cool to see as well. It's like, oh, they can get along.
Yeah. The one thing I want to add that this has done, I think more than anything else, this has created we've always had, we're a community, whether you're XRP army or you hate the XRP army, or you're a Bitcoin maximalist and you hate everyone.
Well, as I say, it brought together everybody but the maxis. The maxis are the ones I would not include.
The maxis are like racists. Honestly, that's what I feel. But it really showed that we are a political entity. When it comes to politicians, they now think about what are the crypto people going to do about this? How are they going to vote? We've become vocal,
right?
Because they whenever they look at doing anything, they don't give a shit. They have no souls. I know that. You know that. We all know that.
Gingers.
It's about what is this going to? How is this going to affect me? If I'm going to piss off this group, but I'm going to make this group happy. Is this group going to vote? Is this group going to be more vocal? I think that this has shown that we can come together in a political activist way to affect change. Because we all came together. Every show was like, this is who you need to call your senator, tell them not to vote for this, tell them that this needs to be fixed. And we did start to come together completely grassroots. This came out of nowhere. I think that this is the beginning of a whole nother part of our community that's going to grow.
The next chapter. Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, all the regulatory stuff that they're trying to introduce, I mean, Tone Vase said it best a couple days ago on his channel when he was just saying that this is what Bitcoin was made for, because regulation doesn't work. If regulation worked, he said he would still be at his posh, well-paying job at JP Morgan. He worked at Bear Stearns before that. So he decided to leave that and come over to this element. And he's not even, it was that day, I think it was Tuesday, the day that you were tethering up. Because I didn't know if I was about to FUD, man. I was about to FOMO and FUD because of Satoshi Sean.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, everyone's in FUD. Here we go.
I'm all tethered up. I'm all tethered up.
And then nothing. Everything went up like 15%, 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on a tear right now.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to FOMO in.
Yeah, we hit over 47 today.
We did have a little dip. We had a little dip like yesterday. I bought right back in, but still, man, I was down a little, but it's
like 47.
47.6, and Ethereum's 33.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Cool. Well, all right, let's move on to this final story. Since we got about 18 or so minutes left in the stream, a lot of people heard about this, even on the mainstream news, because it was the largest hack in the history of cryptocurrency. It was like 611 million, and ultimately, most of the funds have been returned back to Poly Network. Poly Network ultimately was like writing a letter, "Dear hacker, please give us back our funds." Then what I had heard was there was a security group, it's called Slow Mist, and the Slow Mist report basically showed that they uncovered the hacker's ID, IP information, device fingerprint, and email address. And then after all that, then the hacker started returning back the funds, claiming he was going to do that all along. I think that they were going to offer him a $500,000 reward, and they also promised not to press charges. The Poly Network. I don't know if you saw. I think it was just today they promised not to. We promised not to charge you with anything, dear hacker.
It's funny, man.
Back our money.
My mom, when I would screw up when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, and I would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mom." You know what she would say? "You're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught."
Yeah.
And I feel like that's exactly what happened here. I mean, my man had $611 million, and now he's trying to act all noble, like, "Oh, it was just a white hat attack." It's not true, obviously.
If it was white hat attack, I feel like it would have been less funds. It wouldn't have been cleaning them out of 600.
It would have been no funds. White hat is you've discovered the vulnerability.
They'll jack it sometimes and return it. I've seen some of those occurring.
Yeah.
Or that's like gray hat. A long time ago.
Yeah, you do it immediately.
Yeah,
he got caught. He was getting all stopped up by all the exchanges. Even Tether, made some moves against him and stuff like that. I think everybody knows that it's BS, but that's not the story, right? The story should be: are these protocols being properly audited? Why are we ignoring the fact that a decentralized finance protocol was drained of all its money across 3 different blockchains, and all we can talk about is the hacker himself?
Yeah, there was responsibility on the part of the coders to make sure that there was no malicious bugs or any sort of way that a hacker could take advantage. So, right. I mean, I agree when it comes to that 100%. Have you, and see, I was on BitBoy's show earlier today, and we were talking about this, and it was kind of brought up that what we're seeing and hearing may not be the truth. It could have been like an inside job, and they're trying to cover up some things as well. Because
half the time it is an inside job.
Because,
look
I
at
mean,
Cryptopia.
I think
that's the thing. I think, like Nick, that no
we're
one
dealing
really
with admin keys with some of the situation, and
is-
how do you
no
get
one's really
access to
talking
somebody's
about
admin
or
keys?
focusing on is that it always comes back to the basics, man. It always comes back to the basics. If it's not your keys, not your crypto,
Right.
And if you're trusting these protocols, even big ones, even if like Celsius. I mean, if you're putting trust in something in this space, it's very, very risky. And if you're going to do that for 6% or 9%, I don't think it's worth the risk. It's just not. If
Greed is a son of a bitch, Sean.
It's true. It's honestly, it's a big reason that I've stayed kind of out of DeFi. Although I do believe in DeFi, I think it's an incredible like innovation. And that's really important. And in many ways, it does adhere to what crypto is all about, obviating the banks and governments and creating, maybe being your own hedge fund and things like that. That all, I get that. I'm 100% behind all that. But at what cost? Like if it's truly decentralized finance, there should be no sacrifice of ownership, right? That's not DeFi. That's just like fi.
Yeah.
I think DeFi is the future. I think DeFi is it's something that'll break shackles off everything. You can be a 16-year-old kid and get your first job at McDonald's, work for 1 year, and you can retire at age 17 with DeFi. That is not a joke. That is, and
they're doing it.
Yeah, you can save. I was going to do a video. You can save up $10,000, go into DeFi, and have more money per month than you did at that job. You could retire with like $2,500 a month at right now with that much money, and that it's how humans should be.
But Sean,
is the only race on this planet that pays to live here.
Could there be a hacker who hacks into what you're doing and you lose your $10,000 plus?
Well, that's why you own your own keys. You own your crypto. You have to have that level. And if you want to risk it, it better be damn good. I'm not going to put anything at risk for 6%. Are you going to get greedy? I'll put this at risk to double my money in 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe. But if it sounds too good to be true, if it looks too good to be true, and if I did that, I wouldn't put all my eggs in there. I put 2,000 in there. And now, okay, I screwed up. It's lost.
I think from what I heard, he's returned all of the funds except for the Tether. And the reason the Tether hasn't been sent back was because Tether was able to freeze. And
yeah, they froze some. He still sent back like almost 100 million worth of Tether, I think.
Did he?
98 or 92 million worth of Tether.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's why, my focus as a developer has always been creating like truly decentralized solutions that the user continues to own their own keys. Of course, we have a protocol level. We have a layer 1. So we're able to build things into the actual core that allow for that. These layer 2 protocols are just that. They're secondary layers. They're smart contracts. So if the smart contract is flawed in any way, or and I read the Slow Mist report, if there's a functionality within the smart contract that can be gamed by a central party, one admin key or however you want to put it, that's still a central point of failure. That's still not the implementation that we're looking for, in my opinion,
right?
In crypto. And but again, it's the early days for DeFi. It's still really, really nascent, I think, but it has huge potential. Obviously.
Now, from a devil's advocate point of view, and seeing what how in a sense our industry was able to police itself by the exchanges blocking off exit ways for the hacker and Tether doing what they did. In a sense, it kind of lets the governments in a sense know that like this is not just a complete wild west. Like we can police our own stuff here.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Mr. Sean Lee?
It is. I mean, I agree with that. But that's not their aim.
Sean Lee is his real name, in case anybody doesn't know.
What?
Sean Lee.
Sean Lee? No, it's not. It's Jonathan.
Well, that's your middle name. Is Sean Lee Shaughnessy.
That's not my middle name. You know I don't tell people my middle name is.
Oh my god.
I do not like my middle name.
Yeah, well, now we got to figure out what it is.
Yeah. Well, what's Christopher Giselle?
Yeah, Giselle. I have to get in touch with your kids.
They won't tell you. They know.
Yeah, they will.
You know, it's a fucking serious thing. It's a serious fucking subject. No. Yeah.
I just thought this is it was interesting to bring up, like, just these few things that, we don't try to do like the normal mainstream news stuff, Nick. Some of this obviously is stuff that is covered, but we try to cover what we feel is important and affects
the real.
These are the biggest stories. Yeah, these are the biggest stories of the week. 100%. I've been following both, obviously, incredibly closely. There's also something else weird going on right now that I want to bring up in the space, which is like this. It's like maximalism is like at an all-time high all of a sudden. And like, did you see Jack Dorsey posted this kind of like subtweet against Ethereum the other day? And he says it's, it's inadequate. It won't challenge big tech and things like that. And I've seen some like, ETH people who are big proponents of ETH talking about ETH and getting just fucking dragged for no reason by all the Bitcoin maximalists and vice versa. So if somebody will say something about Bitcoin, all the ETH maxis come out. What's up with that right now? Like, what happened to the collaboration?
I don't know, man, but I've been hearing.
I think a lot of the collaboration was fake, but not a lot, but some. But I've been shocked, like Nick is saying, with the and me and Rice have talked about it, the Bitcoin maximalists have been vicious, dude. I mean, where they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're like, burn all the crypto, not us. But if we get things, fuck it, man. But burn the rest, kill them.
Yeah, that's
right. What is that?
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost as if they're trying to petition the SEC to reevaluate Ethereum and classify it as a security, just to give Bitcoin all the glory.
I don't understand how that helps.
We talked about it on the blockchain roundtable.
It doesn't. But if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you feel like all these other things have no point. But yet. But
to be an early adopter of Bitcoin required so much faith in something so new and so abstract.
It's hypocritical.
It is. It seems at odds with your own philosophy to not be open to. And like this whole thing, like you can't like Ethereum and Bitcoin. They're completely different things. They do completely different things. Why you can like two things? I just don't understand. Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
I mean, maximalism is it is a contradiction. It doesn't make sense. It's superiority. It's like racial superiority or any other kind of superiority. Whenever you go down that road, it just leads to the dark side, man.
And Bitcoin
it does.
Nazis.
Any kind of
them Bitcoin Nazis.
And we talked about it on the World Blockchain Roundtable. Most of the money, like 90% of the money, 90% of the lobbyists are just for Bitcoin. 90% of the money is just Bitcoin. You've got the old guard, the banks, the basically like the axis of evil, all that money and all those whispers, all that information that's going into these people's ears, that the reason why they say these stupid things, because most of Congress, they're not morons. They're not stupid people. They just get bad information from people that they believe. So they stand up there and they say those stupid, silly things. It's because they honestly believe it, because that's what they were told.
Right.
And then anything from the other side, 90% of it is from maximalists. That's where the money's coming from. That's what the lobbyists are telling them. Mm-hmm. So at best, you're going to get Bitcoin, but everything else, that's going to rip you off. That's where the cyber ghouls are going to take your souls, whatever. I don't know. Pelosi said something.
The
really
cyber
weird.
Ghouls.
Watch out for them cyber ghouls.
Watch out for the
Pelosi
cyber
said something really weird. The shadow hackers. The shadow hackers are going to get you.
Oh, the shadow hackers.
She said that. Yeah. So it's.
I mean, Bitcoin is an amazing innovation, but so is Ethereum. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I own.
Well,
both.
imagine a parallel universe where the Bitcoin core developers said to Vitalik, "Yes, we love your idea."
Right. Yeah, because Vitalik would have never started ETH.
Right. Now, I mean, that would be really cool. And a lot of people say that like you can't do this and do that with Bitcoin, but the library blockchain uses the Bitcoin code and is able to store video content. So if they're able to do it, then it makes me seem like there could be a lot more being done to Bitcoin that's not.
There definitely is, and they're gonna continue to put out various layer 2 technologies and L3 and on so on and so forth. Because you still have opcodes and stuff like that in Bitcoin that are, in a sense, smart contracts. They're just not like the smart contracts that we know on like Solidity.
Not that complexity.
They're not as robust or Turing complete
you can still do
as like an
coins,
EVM.
Technically.
Color coins, yeah, that was a big thing for a while. But the implementation was kind of complex. Not to say they can't come back and maybe a different implementation. But there's
like a relaunch of Counterparty or something.
I remember Counterparty. Yeah, they shut that down, didn't they?
I don't think it's shut down. I just think people stopped developing, or it just wasn't.
Yeah,
it just stopped being used. But it was such a really cool idea. And coming in later after it was kind of done, it was like, wow. It was like, I wish this was still around, or somebody was to bring something like this back. But I don't know if companies like Blockstream, if they pay these people to stop being interested. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm definitely a proponent of Bitcoin is throttled and kept limited on purpose.
Yeah,
so that people can create those side chains and second and third layer solutions so that they can profit off of those.
I don't know. I mean, the tech definitely, it's hard to update, right? Because you have so many people participating in the governance on Bitcoin. I mean, we just had that big update, that big hard fork recently, and that took years to get through.
It hasn't taken place if we're talking about.
But it was voted in.
Taproot. Yeah, it finally got the miner signal.
Right. So, but think about how long that's like a pretty. That helps everybody.
Summer of 2017 or early fall of 2017.
Right. It's hard. Like a traditional tech company is iterating sometimes monthly on their technologies, usually quarterly at least for the big upgrades.
Yeah,
it's hard I think the governance keeps it throttled, as you say, but that is why the layer 2s come in, and like Lightning and things like that. And Lightning's getting a lot better. You have the rebalancing is way better now. And some new innovations that I've been reading about look really good. I'm not saying anything bad about Bitcoin or ETH. I just think that
you're talking crap about both of them. You're saying that Divi is the one coin to rule them all.
I'm not saying that at all, please.
You're a Divi maxi, you.
I am a maximalist of multi-coin maximalist, if anything.
Right.
I just think that different things have different uses. Like I might have a pickup truck and a sedan, right? I don't, but I might, right? Why do you have a pickup truck? Carry big things. I can't carry huge things in my sedan, but I like it because it goes fast. Yeah. You do two different things, but they're kind of the same, right? But I'm not a truck maximalist, you know.
It's a good way. Now I know you were going to keep it. I know we were going to keep it limited, so we got like a minute or two. You got any final thoughts or anything you want to add? And real quick, Litecoin Lisa's in the house. Figure we can say hello to Litecoin.
Hey, Lisa.
But yeah, any final thoughts, Mr. Nick Saponaro from Divi Project?
No, thanks for letting me go on a rant.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed having you, having you on. Getting update on Divi.
I really appreciate you guys bringing me in on the episode. It's always a pleasure chatting with both of you. So, yeah, anytime. And
yeah, we have to get something. We'll have to get something. We'll have to reach out individually and get something scheduled, bring you on the shows, and
let me know.
Do a little more in depth.
Cool.
But it's good seeing you, man. And we got links down below for your social media and all of Divi's stuff, the Divi YouTube channel. So I definitely encourage people to go over and subscribe to the Divi Project YouTube channel, and then also Sean's channel as well. So much
next time you're in Texas, maybe let someone know that you're here.
Do what?
Will do.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
You obviously don't follow me on Twitter. I was talking about it, but
yes, I do. That's why I was mad. You're like, I'm in Born, Texas. I was like, what? And you know what? Go back and look, because I bet.
But we can just say, well,
is this really happening?
Sean lives that close and didn't go to the event to see neither Ben or Nick.
That's
so
right.
It works. It works both ways.
Well, I will be back. I loved it in Texas. It was awesome. So I'll let you know next time I'm out there.
Cool.
Sure. Just
all right, brother.
We're good.
You can see your way out whenever you're ready, man. I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks again, guys.
Much love. And now we're 2.
Thank you, Rick.
Rick Crypto.
I think diversity is good, like Lisa said. You know, when it comes to paying stuff.
Yeah, that's why I've started investing in the stock market, and I'm buying personal shares in the Federal Reserve now.
I'm talking about using crypto for what it's supposed to be for. When it comes to paying for things, I have Bitcoin Cash and I have Litecoin. Completely honest, because if I have to pay something, like to buy it or pay for it, I look at what it's going to cost on the network for Litecoin. I look at what it's going to cost on the network for Bitcoin Cash, and whichever's cheapest is what I use.
Is if out of a percentage ratio, is there one that tends to be more reliant on being cheaper than the other?
Usually, Bitcoin Cash is cheaper, but I have noticed the past month that it's been slower. So that is something I'm thinking of now. If I want something, it needs something paid quick. Like if the little window
we're
pops
still
up.
talking pennies, though, aren't we? All the way around.
Yeah.
Are we talking about saving
we're
half
talking
a
like
penny
1 cent versus 3.
Right, or like
Yeah.
2.5 cents versus 2.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. When it comes to payments, to using peer-to-peer cash, Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash will beat the shit out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything else.
Yeah, for pure. That's why it's
All day
been
long.
throttled and been told it's a store value. Real quick, while Lisa's here, she's still here. At the end of her live stream earlier, I was asking her if she would like to be a guest on Crypto Rewind next week at 7:00 p.m. Eastern time, which is an hour after you're done with your Friday happy hour stream. So let us know. Either text me, Lisa, message me on Twitter or something. But if you would like to join us next Friday, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And yeah, I plan on trying to
interview Richard Hart.
I'm actually supposed to get in touch with him. I was supposed to get in touch with him while the Pulse Chain sacrifice event was going on, which I still do not understand. Cool. Well, you guys can expect Litecoin Lisa next week on Crypto Rewind.
You know how you brought that up to me, all the different chains? You're going to get Pulse Chain E-Hex.
Yeah, you're going to double up on your Hex.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the crypto projects that want to have a fork will have a fork. Some may be automatic, and some may have to use their admin keys or something to that effect. Just because and I think it may have already happened. I don't know. But just because it happens doesn't mean that, like, the stable coins, just because there might be technically a Pulse version of USDT, it could just be a dummy coin that USDT is not willing to back.
Do you
and if
see Richard Hart stream after the hack?
No, I don't know, but it was just like one of the ones where I told you so.
Yeah, but that was old.
Yeah, because he acts as if he's the most responsible giving person in crypto. I love Richard, I do, but he's not the fucking.
Dude, I love dickhead Richard Hart. I love I told you so, Richard Hart. I love, I used to be one of my favorite people. I hate this current wrestling Richard Hart. Look at my Louis Vuitton and my watches. It's weird to me.
Well, he was on. Okay, so he was on. I think it was Kitco News, which is not a crypto channel, and he couldn't be the normal Richard Hart in a sense where he's like just taking over the microphone and just controlling a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about why he does some of that stuff. But at the same time, he acts like he's giving back to all this. He talks about all the money that was going to charities for this. I don't understand it. So did you have to sacrifice something in order to get the Pulse? Or is the Pulse automatically given to all the Ethereum holders?
You have to buy it, but you can't. They didn't say that. You say you sacrifice. You don't buy it, you sacrifice.
Right, because they couldn't sell something at a value.
You can't sell it. So it's
right. So it had to be zero. It had to be $0, worth $0 for them to. It's some weird shit, man.
But he went on and he was like, look, motherfucker, you got ripped off. You listen to box mining. got ripped off again.
Oh yeah. He went off. He went off talking about how box mining Michael had this happen to him a couple times,
like,
and he's just an idiot.
Look what I did for Hex. Look, and that's fine, dude. You can stand on your accomplishments.
Now I agree with him with what he said about Michael from box mining, though, because Michael is like, he's already had a couple situations. He shouldn't be steering his audience into elements that just keep having these rug pulls. It makes me start to question whether or not he knows this shit's going to happen.
Thanks, Lisa. But I don't know. I liked it. I liked when I first saw Richard Hart. He was a Bitcoin, Bitcoin. It wasn't Bitcoin Jesus, but he was like one of the disciples. He was one of the disciples. He was a big guy. And he went on. He's like, hey, man, why am I going to hold on my Bitcoin when I can invest in these shit coins and like make 20x in like a month, or I'm going to make 2x with Bitcoin. I'll make my 20x and then I'll go buy 20 times more Bitcoin. And I was like, that's what I've been saying. And there's so much, just his frankness I really liked, that comes with some, people don't like that. It's a little bit abrasive, but that's fine, dude. That's just honesty. But, I don't know. Ever since Hex, it's a very, and it's got to be like a wrestler. It's got to be a character. I just, the spinning watches, and I don't.
But to me, I don't think a lot's changed as far as the character. I think he's still always kind of been that braggatory guy. He's always bragged about self-help books, always bragged about giving all this information away for free, all this coaching information. I mean, he always bragged about that.
He used to be valid. He used to validate himself with his accomplishments, not with his stuff. Like I'm right because I did this, I said this, and I've made this. Not,
well, what the sad thing is,
because I had this that is worth a lot of money.
You can think about this in two ways. In a sense, him doing what he did, he became a more popular version of Richard Hart than he was previously. So it's sad to think about what someone on the other end who's watching these shows, what they like to see. Because I know that there's a lot of content creators out there, especially on the 17th letter movement stuff, that are just blowing smoke up people's asses. But they seem to like have that smoke being blown up their ass, apparently.
It's true. If it didn't work, there wouldn't be all those, Forex scammers, who rent an Airbnb and rent a Ferrari for the day. And like, I quit high school at 17. Now I make $500,000 a minute trading Forex. Look, I have all this cash here. I sit, and that's the thing, dude. It's like, yes, I'd like to sit in this chair with 7 of my watches next to me, like a normal fucking person. No one does that. And then literally,
it'd be cooler. It'd be really cool is if you wore them all on an arm.
Yeah, I think one dude did wear like 3 fucking watches.
I would love to see him wear like 6 or 7.
And walk around with an open laptop. You know what I mean? And like someone opens the door to a Bentley and they get in with an open laptop.
That's silly, dude.
Pushing. Yeah, look at me. It's so ridiculous. And then I haven't watched Heart for a while, and I put it on. I was like, what?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if it works, I guess it works.
It's sad. It is what it is. So I got to get ready to bounce. If you're going to be available sometime tomorrow, I'll text you, because aside from uploading a video, I should be free most of the day. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that. What you're doing with the DeFis, with the Defies.
Yeah,
with the Defi.
I need to make a video on that.
I want to get into some Defi.
I got a video. I got an interview tomorrow. With what are you doing? I got a video tomorrow with Dan Crenshaw and
who the hell is he?
Huh?
Who the hell is he?
Dan Crenshaw, the senator.
Oh.
And the governor of Texas. So that's going to be pretty cool.
You're going to interview the governor of Texas?
Yeah, interview the governor and Dan Crenshaw.
Abbott?
No, the other governor.
There's no other governor.
Well, then, yeah, Abbott.
Do you really have an interview with Greg Abbott?
No, I'm just trying to make you think I'm really cool.
Why'd you lie?
I just wanted you to think I was big, cool.
I thought you were cool anyways, man.
All right, man.
Man. Why would you make something like that up?
I don't know. I'm fucking with you, dude. No, I have an interview. I do have an interview tomorrow, and then
I want you to get to
the
the Texas State Capitol and go and interview Governor Abbott, man.
You know what's weird, dude? When I was
Don't
kid,
accept no for an answer. Just go.
we used to go up. I go to Austin. You go to 6th Street, but then when you're drunk, we would go to the Capitol and just go into the Capitol and walk around. It was really weird to me because I grew up in Europe, so I was like, we can be in here, and then I was like, yeah, it's the fucking Capitol, dude. It's our fucking building. I'm like, but it's 3 a.m, and this is the Capitol. And you're like, yeah, we're like looking at the the echo. It was so weird, but it's so cool that was our building. You know what I mean? And we're just kids. And now there's no way you could fucking do that. I remember when they locked the Capitol doors at night. I think it was like in the early 2000s, late 90s. And I was enraged. And I was like, I wouldn't have been enraged before I knew this, but having had that taste of freedom, and now when it was taken away, it was weird.
YouTube demonetized the videos I just did to have it asked it to be reviewed, so there's limited monetization. Like we said,
I would like to
so retarded, man.
I would like to interview Abbott, though. That'd be cool.
I'd like to hear you do it. That was why I thought you were being serial, man. I thought you was being serious. But it's all good. So
I wanted you. You haven't been able to. Why haven't you gotten a hold of that? I asked you to get a hold of one person so that we could talk to one person, and you never did it.
I don't remember.
And now you're going to ask me who it is.
I'm trying to remember who without having to ask you. I don't know.
What's her face?
Her face.
What's her face?
What's her face? I don't know.
So why haven't you got a hold of her, dude? It'd be like
what does what's her face do?
She has a channel.
Oh, her she's called What's Her Face. I think I looked her up.
Yes, Abbott and Costello. We have done this before.
I think I looked her up and I forgot to do anything beyond that.
Yeah, she's very cool. Her channel is awesome. She's like, funny. She's not quite JP funny, but that's another one, dude. I've tried to get JP before, but
she's purdy. I'll check her out a little bit more.
Yeah, she's hilarious, man.
Just like a little Italian. She looks like she should have been on Jersey Shore.
She's Canadian, so that's funny.
She looks like she could be friends with just this picture I've seen. She looks like, she looks like Snooki's best friend. All right. I got to bounce. I'll hit you up tomorrow.
All right. You guys take care. Thanks for watching. Go to Satoshi Sean, subscribe to
Rice. The links are down below, man. They're gonna, if they're not subscribed,
go comment because I'm gonna give away crypto. I gave away like over $1,000 last week. So
wow.
I gave away 2 Cinnabot full master nodes and other stuff because I was depressed. And it made me feel better to give stuff away.
Aw.
But
next time hit me up, dude. But I'll be around tomorrow. I'll ring you.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Much love.
See y'all later.
Oh, real quick, my promo. Make sure you subscribe to Rice TVX2, the sequel, and follow me on Odyssey and libraries and all the other good stuff. If this just happens to be your first time ever watching any of my videos, I do encourage you to check out and explore my channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos as they come out. Also, due to all the recent censorship, make sure you subscribe to my backup channel, Rice TVX2, the sequel. And I've also recently deleted more than half of my videos on my main YouTube channel, which means you can find 100% of my content plus exclusive videos over on Odyssey and Library. If you haven't already, be sure to visit ricetvx.com and sign up for the mailing list so that you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. You can also find all my social media links as well as merchandise that is coming soon. If you'd like to support the channel directly, consider joining my Patreon, where I have 3 different levels of membership, or if you'd like to send a direct contribution or tip, I have my Cash App information, PayPal, and my CoinTree link for cryptocurrency addresses listed below in the video description. Take advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange. Get your free half ounce of silver. All you need to do is be a first-time buyer, visit moneymetals.com, purchase a minimum of $100, and use the promo code RICE. You get that free half ounce of silver, and it's another way to support the channel. I will include links down below in the video description